Yo, what's up, everybody? So, today, in this video, we are going to be watching Zach D films until we literally can't no more. So, let's get into it.
The tiny city was placed on the metal sheet that rested on top of a rolling conveyor belt. When it caught on the belt, it was dragged down, bending further and further as it built up tons of energy. And when the sheet suddenly snapped free, the energy released at once, shaking the tiny city, showing what happens when a tectonic plate slides underneath another one. If it builds up enough friction, the sudden burst can rupture the ground, destroying entire cities in minutes. The tiny city.
Dang. Zach, shit, our thoughts are crazy. Where does that get these videos I do? Video says something mildly brutal. Good morning to you too, Zach. No poop, no blood, no gore. Zach is feeling good today. Who starts a conversation like that? Zach D films? Whatever the video is about. Zach probably knows everything, but I just can't prove it.
He flashed a fake ID to the agent before walking straight into the cockpit and asking to sit in the jump seat. You see, this jump seat is usually reserved for off-duty pilots who need to catch flights at other airports, letting them travel for free. Now, he used to be a flight attendant, so when he went through security with a fake ID, the system cleared him as an employee. He tricked the airlines for years, boarding hundreds of free flights. But they eventually found out, and he was arrested. He flashed a fake.
Never did that at all. Definition of smart until caught. So true. Both script day by day. You must be inspired by Catch Me If You Can. Okay.
Your goal is to walk through this massive wheat field and find the biggest stalk of wheat. But there are two rules. You can only walk forward, and you can only make one choice. In the first scenario, you see a stalk almost immediately. It looks pretty big, so you grab it. But as you keep walking, you start seeing bigger and bigger ones, and you realize you chose too early. In the second scenario, you see tall stalks, but you keep walking past them, convinced a bigger one is ahead. But by the time you reach the end of the field, the big stalks are gone, and you have to choose a small one. In the third scenario, you use the first part of the walk to study the stalks and learn what a good one actually looks like. Then later, before the field runs out, you choose a strong one based on what you know. Now, you will walk past some that are bigger, but yours is good enough, because the goal isn't finding the perfect option, it's just knowing when to choose and when to commit. Your goal is to walk through this massive
Oh, thanks. You guys headed to the airport?
If enemies raided the town, guards would light a giant bonfire, and watchmen miles away would see it, lighting their own fire and passing the message down the line. Now, each watchtower had a synchronized clock, and the first tower would wait until a specific time to signal a raid. And if a fire started, they would wait until this hour to signal. A different hour meant war had broken out. By using these perfectly timed fires, they could pass along a specific message until it reached the capital over 400 miles away. If enemies raided the town, guards set off. If enemies raided the town, guards. Your goal is to walk through this massive wheat field and find the biggest stalk of wheat. But there are two. If enemies raided the town, guards would light a giant bonfire, and watchmen miles away would see it, lighting their own fire and passing the message down the line. Now, each watchtower had a synchronized clock, and the first tower would wait until a specific time to signal a raid. And if a fire started, they would wait until this hour to signal. A different hour meant war had broken out. By using these perfectly timed fires, they set off firecrackers in the streets, scaring the sparrows away from landing. You see, the government thought that the sparrows were eating too much grain, so they told the citizens to destroy the nests and make loud noises, keeping the birds flying until they dropped dead from exhaustion and shooting the rest. But the sparrows also ate harmful bugs, and without them, swarms of locusts started to appear. They destroyed countless crop fields, leaving almost nothing behind. And even though the government flew in sparrows from other countries, millions of people already starved to death. They set off firecrackers in the streets, scaring the sparrows away from landing. You see, the government thought that the sparrows were eating too much grain, so they told the citizens to destroy the nests and make loud noises, keeping the birds flying until they dropped dead from exhaustion and shooting the rest. But the sparrows
Can't live like this anymore, dog. Look at
the rain fell.
Can't live like this anymore, dog.
The rain fell onto the T-Rex as it roared at the press of a button, but the water leaked through the foam skin and added extra weight, making its movements jittery, and sometimes it even moved by itself. After each shoot, crew members spent all night drying it with towels and blow dryers, but it became super heavy and fragile. And because it was so big, they rebuilt and shifted the set around it dozens of times, creating the illusion that the T-Rex was walking around without actually moving it. The rain fell onto the T-Rex as it roared at the press of a button, but the water leaked through the foam skin and added extra weight, making its movements jittery, and sometimes it even moved by itself. After each shoot, crew members spent all night drying it with towels and blow dryers, but it became super heavy and fragile. And because it was so big, they rebuilt and shifted the set around it dozens of times, creating the illusion that the T-Rex was walking around without actually moving it. The rain fell onto the T-Rex as when sun hits the termite mound, the heat gets stored in the walls. The rain fell onto the T-Rex as it roared at the press of when sun hits the termite mound, the heat gets stored in the walls, shielding the inside and keeping it cool. And at night, the hot air rises and escapes through the tall shaft, while small tunnels suck in cool air from underground. Now, an architect saw this and made an office building with thick concrete walls which absorbed the heat just like the termite mound. Then it released it at night through a series of chimneys based on the shafts that termites made. At the same time, fans sucked in the cool air from outside before blowing it through vents in the floors, which saved a fortune on air conditioning. When sun hits the termite...
I got another lot of stuff. Oh, I did not mean dislike. Oh my god. I meant to post the comments. I'm not gonna lie, that's actually a genius idea. It is. The engineer is presently defending himself against a termite law department lawsuit. Alleging copyright infringement. Yeah.
I'm 20, and I've been to prison 12 times in one life. I try to go legit, but no one will hire me. Now I've got...
If you hammer a nail into the edge of a plank, the sharp tip slides in between the fibers, while the wider body forces them apart. This can split the wood as it goes down. To solve this, flip the nail upside down and use a hammer to flatten the tip completely. When you try to use it, the blunt tip is too wide to slide through, so it cuts straight into the wood instead, which breaks the fibers as it slides out the other side with the wood unbroken. If you hammer a nail into the edge of a plank, the sharp tip slides in between the fibers, while the wider body forces them apart. This can split the wood as it goes down. To solve this, flip the nail upside down and use a hammer to flatten the tip completely. When you try to use it, the blunt tip is too wide to slide through, so it cuts straight into the students were given brand new laptops to use at school and at home. But soon after, one student was called to the office and accused of using drugs. They showed a photo of him holding what was actually just candy taken from inside his bedroom. You see, the laptops all contained a hidden app that took photos and screenshots from the webcams, meaning the school could secretly see their private messages and even take photos of them sleeping. Their families filed a complaint, and after the school paid them around $600,000, the app was finally shut down for good. Students were given brand new...
The school needs a privacy priest. True that. The school doesn't know what privacy is. They don't. They really don't.
How do you make this video? Well, I'm not only going to show it to you, I'm actually going to explain it to you.
If you were forced to eat a banana, and then another, and another, after around 60, your stomach would rupture. But if you somehow kept them down, some people think your hair would fall out, while your skin turned red, until you finally died. That's because bananas are actually radioactive. But one banana gives you about the same radiation as living near a nuclear plant for a year. Even Chernobyl workers were exposed to over 1 million bananas worth, and most survived. So to actually die from banana radiation, you would need to eat 35 million bananas at once. But at that point, you wouldn't actually die from radiation. You would die from being the most committed banana eater in human history. If you were forced...
Is that the same robot who killed a family in a previous short? Probably is. Oh yes, the radiation will kill you. Okay. This one was the beginning of Zach Speed's artwork. If you force eat a banana, that is a great way to start a sentence. The girl slipping from the banana page. That was funny.
In Capture the Flag, one team is facing one direction and the other team is facing the opposite direction. And that's typically the only way to tell the teams apart in an informal game. So all you need to do is turn around, face toward your own side, and start slowly maneuvering backward into enemy territory. Now, if it's at dusk and there are a decent amount of kids playing, from their perspective, you might look like one of them. Because most of the time, they're really just checking which way you're facing. To really sell it, capture one of your own teammates who's in on the plan. Now you've built trust. As you get closer to the flag, start mapping a clear path back to your side, but don't run yet. Just walk forward like you're still on defense. And the moment someone realizes you have the flag, well, that's when you sprint. In Capture the Flag,
her face. Wait, I gotta go back to that.
your path back to your side, but don't run yet. Just walk forward like you're still on defense. And the moment someone realizes...
Yo, I got it. The neck turned off. Yo. I did not think that. I'm not sure why, but that algorithm makes me laugh. God, I died. Pops to the goat sacrifice. The neck. That turn of the neck saying. That neck turn was straight extra. Okay. The neck turn was wild. Yo, like, look at that. The neck turn was insane.
It's too scary to walk alone at night, but fortunately, my friend...
If we took out all of the salt from every ocean on Earth and compacted it into one giant cube, it would stretch over 150 miles, bigger than the state of New Jersey. And if every person on Earth licked as much as they could every day, it would take around 1 billion years to finish. But without salt, ecosystems would collapse, while entire
Skin would be so dry.
species would die, and the water wouldn't circulate heat normally, meaning cold places
Their hand would be so dry. Bro.
would freeze, while hot places would get hotter, causing massive storms that would slam into the coasts. Now click here to see more things we should never try. If we took out all of the salt from every ocean on Earth and compacted it into one giant cube, if the zombies are approaching, quickly get a treadmill and line up 500 of them around your house. Then crank them to full speed, and every zombie that steps on gets launched backwards. For days it works, but then one grips the handles and manages a few running steps before flying back. The others notice and copy it. They practice again and again until they're running fast enough to stay upright. And then they finally break through, smashing their way inside. Now you've just conditioned zombies with elite cardio, officially dooming the entire human race. Click here for more terrible ideas.
That was good at first. Electric bills are gonna be crazy. Why would you need electric? I don't think they would do electric bills in a zombie apocalypse. Finally, I have use for my 500. Okay. Zombies are coming and Step Prince. I can't even finish that. They'll finally realize his purpose in life. Tell him about some. Click here for more terrible advice.
Like I said, this is one of those movies where you really got to pay attention. Okay, you ready? All right, yeah.
After he died, his bones were taken and wired into a skeleton, and his daughter took it on a road trip. She brought her father's skeleton kayaking and visited the Lincoln Memorial. They posed for pictures in New York, and she even took it on a plane ride, something they never did when her father was alive. And at the end of their adventure, she donated his skeleton to his old high school, just like he wanted. After he died, his bones were taken and wired into a skeleton, and his daughter took it on a road trip. She brought her father's skeleton kayaking and visited the Lincoln Memorial. They posed for pictures in New York, and she even took it on a plane ride, something they never did when her father was alive. And at the end of their adventure, she donated his skeleton to his old high school, just like he wanted. After he died, his bones were taken and wired into a skeleton. The pellets are stacked in the tubes, which are loaded into a core with dozens of others. Now, the tubes are surrounded by water, and the pellets inside are actually made of uranium. When a flying particle hits a uranium atom inside the tube, it splits it apart, releasing more tiny particles. These hit other atoms and shoot out even more particles. This causes the rods to heat up, which causes the water to boil, and this causes the release of steam, which turns a turbine connected to a generator, which produces electricity for your home. Pellets are stacked in the tubes, which are loaded into a core with dozens of others. Now, the tubes are surrounded by water, and the pellets inside are actually made of uranium. When a flying particle hits...
Have you ever Googled yourself on...
He ate one...
Have you ever Googled yourself?
He ate one spicy chip and fainted. You see, this challenge dared people to eat a chip coated in 2 of the world's hottest peppers and see how long they could wait before drinking. He woke up but passed out again a few hours later and ended up dying in the hospital. You see, he had a condition where one of his heart's main arteries ran through the muscle instead of on top of it. So, when the extreme spice of the the chip made his heart beat extra hard, it squeezed that artery shut and stopped his heart from beating, all for a viral dare. He ate one spicy chip and fainted.
Oh, that's so tragic. No. All because of a dare? Reincarnated as a dragon. Okay. That wasn't funny, but I want to laugh. How did you pass away? Consume hot chips? He died after eating a single something one chip challenge at a school in Massachusetts. Then May 2024, the autopsy revealed a congestive heart defect and an undiagnosed enlarged heart. Family issued a wrongful death lawsuit later, seeking over $300 million in damages to something Hershey's and Walgreens. Dang,
If your house is about to catch fire, your dog could have enough pee to put it out before it grows. But to put out a wildfire, firefighters need thousands of gallons of water, and dogs only produce about a third of a gallon of pee each day, meaning you would need the pee of around 30 million large dogs. But since the fires are so spread out and hot, the dogs couldn't get too close. Instead, you would have to load them onto thousands of planes, and they would have to pee at the exact same time to fully put out the fire. If your house is about...
Shower ideas be like Zach's average 3 a.m. starts. Paw Patrol has been a screaming quiet since this drop. Does answering questions that no one has ever thought of. Shower.
Man, why do all my first dates end at gunpoint? Ever since
She posted her...
Man, why do all my first dates end at gunpoint? Ever since Rena kissed me,
She posted her party on Facebook and invited her friends. But since the event was set to public, her friends invited their friends, who invited their friends. And soon it went viral, and copycat events popped up on Facebook, with thousands of people on the guest list. Now, police heard about it, so they evacuated the girl and her family and set up barriers on her street. Despite this, thousands of teenagers filled the quiet town, drinking and yelling at strangers. And when police tried to control them, they threw rocks and bottles before setting cars on fire and smashing windows, leaving dozens injured and many arrested, all because of a Facebook event. She posted her party on Facebook.
Get these ideas from? Army of soldiers? Army of teenagers. I swear, I feel like if you just don't train them, they would probably win the war. Although they probably end up killing their teammate. How many people are you inviting for your birthday? 17,677. Introverted, worst nightmare.
Peel off the tough outer skin and soak the gourds in boiling water to clean them. Then use a knife to slice the thick core into pieces. You'll get a natural, reusable sponge. And if you run out, just plant some more seeds. And once they're fully grown, let them dry on the vine for a few days before pulling them off. This allows the skin to completely dry out and pull away from the fibers inside. Peel off the tough outer. The band continued to play even as the Titanic was sinking. And the reason behind this was actually really important. You see, if the passengers started panicking, they would have trampled each other, which would have blocked the exits, causing more people to die. But the sound of the music helped set a different tone. It told the passengers that it was okay to be calm as the lifeboats were loaded up. Sadly, every member of the band died that night, and one of the only traces left behind was a single violin. It was displayed in a museum decades later, honoring their sacrifice. The band.
That's so heroic. That for the band who tried to calm the passengers. Yes. gentlemen, has been a privilege to playing with you tonight. Ooh, that one's sad. Set the band. Rest in peace. And band members. Your sacrifice saved so many more people.
If you dig in the ground millions of years into the future, you might think you would find tumblers, smartphones, and cars. But you would actually find a crapload of chicken bones. You see, humans eat billions of chickens every year, and most of those bones end up sealed in landfills. Once buried, they would dry out and harden, lasting millions of years. So future explorers would find billions in Earth's layers, which might lead them to think chickens had ruled the world. If you dig in the ground...
Now you see me?
If you dig in the ground...
Chicken oil farming. That's actually correct. Chickens dominated human tongues. Wait, what? That chicken has a drink and the car is cool as fuck. Thanks for 11k likes. Okay.
Now you see me?
Use white spray paint to cover the abandoned spider web until it's visible. Next, spray a layer of glue onto black cardstock. Then place the sticky side behind the web and slowly bring it forward until the web sticks onto the paper. Tuck the extra strands behind the paper before giving it a final coating of clear paint. And once it's dried, you can frame it to get a preserved spider web. Use white...
Why? Why do you want to preserve spider web? Spider come back? Yo, what the hell am I coming back? Oh. Spider-Man been real quiet since this dropped. He has. Spider-Man, No More Home. Okay. Oh my god. Oh, that was a good one. Being part of one of your videos is an honor. So I must inform you that your home loan has not been cleared. Hey, what's the worst that can happen? Oh, it look like the Spider-Man. No more home.
If you tie a string around a loose tooth and tie the other end to an arrow, you might think you could shoot it to pull the tooth out. But since it pulls forward instead of up, this could easily rip your gums. Like if you tied one arrow to every tooth, then shot them all at the same time, the force could snap your teeth off at the root instead of pulling them out, which is why you should probably just let nature handle it. If you tie a string...
Why are we using arrows and they yank out teeth? We need Mr. Dentist when we have Zach. That topic has never been considered.
Do you like watching?
Mix 3 cups...
Do you like watching? Only a few people know about it.
Mix 3 cups of sugar with 1 cup of water.
Do you like watching?
I don't like that. Can I report that? Maybe I should. I'm sorry, guys. I could not do that. I could not do that. No.
Mix 3 cups of sugar with 1 cup of water, then heat it up while stirring. Once it's clear, pour the hot syrup into a glass jar. Next, cut a clean piece of string, about 2/3 the length of the jar, and tie it to a stick. Dip the string in the syrup, then let it dry hard, before balancing the stick on top of the jar, so the string hangs inside without touching the sides. As the liquid cools, it will release sugar particles, which will form crystals along the string. And after a week, you'll have a hard chunk of rock candy. Mix 3 cups of sugar with 1 cup of water, then
Oh, let's go. Both spelling out everything. Was I the only one who anticipated he would create a candle once more? It's all shits and giggles until the jar explodes because of this syrup.
the ants climbed onto the plank, which was then loaded into a boat and shipped to a different country, where they started their own colony. And this happened countless times, until these ants were spread all over the world. But even after a century of living thousands of miles apart, their chemical smells are still super similar. And if you put together 2 of these ants from 2 different continents, they'll still act like they're from the same colony. The ants, you would pause the movie, hit print on the remote, and inside the TV, the paused image is copied from the screen into the printer's memory. After converting the signal into color data, the printer feeds in a blank sheet, then runs heated color panels over it in precise patterns, matching the paused frame exactly. Once the colors are in place, the sheet is laminated, and the finished photo slides out of the TV as you resume your movie. You would pause the movie.
Well, guys, I think that's it. Well, let me read the comments first. Video went from 60 to 2000 FPS. Why is the animation so smooth? That's so true. That one is insanely smooth. Again, you smooth the animation. But, so, yeah, I think that's it. I don't think I can watch anymore. I'm afraid one of those adult content ads gonna show up, so I'm just saying stuff now, but yeah, I have to report that. I'll see you in the next video. Like and subscribe. Bye.